Ding ding. Welcome. You're right on time for Delulu Hour. Welcome to the third episode of Delulu Hour. We're going strong now. Yes, I hope I'm posting consistently enough for everyone. Probably not. It's every other week, so whatever. Okay. So, as the name entails, Delulu Hour is the podcast where I yap for however long about life, pop culture, anime, and of course, K-pop, all with a hint of spice and a crap ton of delusion. My name is Kevin, and I'm the main host of the show. For this episode, I have kind of an unexpected guest, I would say. I shared my podcast amongst my friends last week, and one of them made an interesting comment that raised concerns about an issue lying deeply within me, which is loving fictional men. So, without further ado, please welcome Nichole. Wow! Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Nichole, and oh gosh, what do you want to know?
I don't know, tell us what you do or like your hobbies, what got you into whatever you're doing right now.
I want to correct you about that really long comment that I left on the video.
Oh, sure.
It was made at like 3 a.m. in a really dumb stupor.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you know what needs to be talked about? And I don't think you realized that it was like 3 a.m. Maybe 4 a.m. comment. It was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of looked at my notifications in the morning. I'm just like, oh, okay. Like Nichole left something really, I guess, deep. And I was like, wait, this kind of like resonated really deep within me.
Yeah. There is research to back it up. I'm not a phony, I promise.
No, every word that you said in that comment was very true. I'll read it later, but for now, just about yourself.
No, that's fair. No, you don't have to rehash it, but like...
No, I will.
Oh,
for
okay.
context
Oh no,
for this
embarrassing.
podcast, I need to rehash it.
Yeah, so I'm Nichole. I do streaming every like Tuesday.
Oh my God. Promo. Wait, this is the first that like someone actually has something to shout out on my channel. You're shouting out to my 64 subscribers. So how do you feel?
Oh my gosh, you're 64. You're so much bigger than me on that. You have a bigger fan base. It's probably because you reach out to more people.
No,
I'm shy.
There you go. No clout. It's clout chasing right now. No, okay.
So you talk about a lot of K-pop. Are we still K-pop centric or?
No, like we're now for Delulu Hour. Like we're kind of like going off the rails a bit. We're talking more.
Ooh, okay.
Just like whatever it is. Like it doesn't have to be K-pop related. Although like kind of the topic for our episode is like can be K-pop related. But like yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a good thing because I'm not super prone to K-pop. I have like one friend that keeps me updated with BTS specifically, and I'm like, okay, I'm here.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a normie when it comes to everything else.
You're not a normie.
No, but,
yeah.
Yeah, with K-pop, I'm like a normie.
Okay. You said you stream though, so like what do you stream?
Yeah,
usually?
I stream video games. I do little Let's Plays, and I pretend to be a goose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should probably elaborate of your goose character on the right or left here.
Yeah. So this is Goose, self-designed character based on the channel named GooseDuck, and it's just basically swan goose duck all in one because birds of a feather fly together, but everyone is welcome here. So
that's such a cute. Oh my! Is that your slogan for your channel?
It kind of is, but like it's not official.
I love how it's like it has like a hair thing.
Yeah, the hair. Oh man, it's kind of based on what I used to have when I had like shorter hair.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, yeah. What's the name of your channel? Since you're shouting out.
Oh my God, GooseDuck. GooseDuck on Twitch.
GooseDuck on Twitch. I'll link you in the description later.
Oh my God, cute.
Yes.
People are gonna be like, oh my God, face reveal. I don't care.
Oh, is this actually gonna be the first time you're revealing your face?
No, it really would be. Yeah.
Oh my! I'm sorry. Oh my God! I don't know. Should I be sorry? Should I be honored that like you're showing your face on the internet for the first time? Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Anything else that you want to say about yourself before we get into?
No. Let's talk about the comment.
Got it. Okay. So, also, for those who don't know, like, which is everyone, Nichole and I are actually classmates together. We recently graduated. Oh my God! How do you feel about that?
Oh my gosh. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I
You were
almost
slay
didn't
though
sleep.
in your outfit. Oh my
Oh,
god.
really?
No,
Thank
same.
you.
Oh my, I almost didn't sleep too because I was like super nervous. I was like, wait, this day is finally happening. And it's like
No,
4 years
yeah.
in the making of this degree. I was like, oh my god. I was happy,
It
excited, but also like get me the hell out of there. Okay, are you ready to get into the main topic
Totally.
now?
Let's
Okay,
go.
okay. So we're gonna be talking about emotional immaturity for this podcast. So I should first start off by like reading Nicole's comment that like really spiked my interest for this episode. So, do you want to read it or should I read it?
I don't have it up. Oh my
You don't
gosh.
have it up? Okay, it's okay. I'll read it.
No,
Don't worry.
yeah,
don't
I
worry.
would need to find
Okay.
it.
A lot of delusional expectations and feelings of closeness to celebrities and characters can stem from an emotional immaturity. This behavior is most common among developing youth as they discover how relationships, platonic and otherwise, function. Staggering or resisting development can be achieved by depriving an individual in their social developmental stages from realistic depictions of relationships. This might mean that the adults in their lives are not modeling this role or media is actively promoting a conflicting behavior. Left unchecked in particular areas, this can snowball into unrealistic expectations of real-world relationships, which in turn creates toxic environment, resentment of real-world relationships, seeking fictional validation, and repeats. So this is a lot to take in. So
It
tell
is
me,
so much.
yeah, I know. I want to know like what was your, I guess, mindset going into this? Like what was on your mind when you were typing?
Oh my gosh. So you started talking about like parasocial conversations and I like really like homed in on it and I was like, oh, I know about this.
Yeah.
So I did like quite a few papers on like children development and like child media because like there was the big thing with COPA and YouTube and I really got into that. So I actually know a lot about like what the restrictions are for children's media and how YouTube can betray that and how YouTube abides by it and all that stuff. Right down to like, I did this paper on whether YouTube Kids is a better alternative than like TV just based on the abundance of media. Like, is your child going to be less bored, learn more, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, just if you have to interject at any point, just do so because I'm gonna.
I just want to ask. Yeah.
Yes.
Like what is you said COPA, was it?
Oh yeah, COPPA, which like stands for like something about like protecting children in online spaces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they
I
had
didn't
like
know that was a thing.
yeah, they had a big YouTube problem. They called it Elsa Gate. If you ever want to like look up more, but essentially what happened was YouTube Kids was supposed to be the thing for kids so that they were abiding by children's something or other, children's online protection something.
Okay.
Basically, what it was supposed to do was to make sure that they weren't collecting information on minors. And yeah, so all of these like videos started appearing with like Spider-Man and Elsa, like they were really sus videos and being advertised to children. But because these videos were not of appropriate amounts to children, like they weren't appropriate content for children, they started to be like, ooh, let's start looking into this. And they started to like pull up the rug of who's actually attending YouTube and who's getting their data collected.
Okay.
And essentially what YouTube did was they started to advertise that like, hey, we have the #1 kid base on YouTube, and they didn't specify YouTube Kids. And then they started to acknowledge that like kids were on regular YouTube and not YouTube Kids, and they knew it. So by doing that, they opened up a giant court law case or whatever, and it just blew up.
Oh crap! Because
Yeah.
technically, like kids are not supposed to be on YouTube, like the regular YouTube, because it is like a 18 plus platform, technically, right?
13 plus,
Oh,
which
13
is
plus.
yes. So social media works on 13 plus. You're allowed on social media officially with 13 plus, and that's because they're not allowed to collect specialized information, like a specific kind of information about minors anyone under 13. So what YouTube did essentially was they were acknowledging that there were children watching YouTube, not YouTube Kids, and they were collecting that data. And so they got into big trouble. which is why you can't upload a video now without telling them if it is quote unquote meant for kids or not.
Yeah, I always have to check that box whenever I upload.
Yes.
It's not just that one, but it's is this made for kids? And also, do you want to restrict this for people over or under 18, right?
Yes.
And I'm just like, oh, does that mean I can't like swear and stuff? Or does that mean like I also just like can't like do 18 plus things on this channel? I don't know.
Oh my God. It's my hyper focus and I'm going to derail us if I keep going. But like,
no, like
essentially.
This is interesting. But like,
oh my God.
want to know, like, I guess we could get into it more because if like kids are watching stuff that's not like meant for like their mental development at that age, right? Then like it can seriously like cause trauma, I guess you could say, for that.
No, it causes like a weird developmental, it causes that emotional immaturity. So once again, this is where it cycles back, right? If you don't have those role models in your developmental stages, what are you picking up as a role model? And so they start to pick up role models from YouTube. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Wait. I need to like. I see it because like I'm just like reflecting on my own life, and I'm just like, wait. I kind of like turned to a lot of YouTubers growing up, just because like I didn't have like I guess the best parents to model. I didn't have like the best model parents as kids for me. Oh my God. Okay. So. Putting that aside just for now, right? Like, we should I guess like. Briefly talk about like what is emotional immaturity first.
Ooh, good one.
So yeah, I guess by definition, it's it is like a brief like thing that I've summarized. It's someone who struggles to control their emotions, and it's someone who has trouble like effectively dealing with problems in their life, like respectively for their age, right? And so that kind of explains what Nichole was saying in her comment, which is like taking examples from not good role models, and then they end up resenting like the real world relationships, and then then when they grow up they're seeking validation and then like repeating, like you said. Yeah. Did you want to get into the YouTube thing more now?
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So while researching about, whether YouTube just having more content is like worth the damage that it does, because we know it does damage, but is it worth it? Because like, what is TV being regulated by? And is it worth it if children can now pursue their special interests? So like, I won't find 6 hours of trains on a TV show, but I will find 6 hours of trains on the internet.
Yes.
So that helps hone in like their special interests and stuff. So one of the studies that they did was, I think like some children's channel called like Ryan or some shit like that, where they started to talk about like, what do you see in Ryan? Do you like Ryan? And Ryan doesn't always display the best behavior. And in this study, they found that the children liked Ryan and they perceived him as a friend. So this was like early developments of a parasocial relationship.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Ryan was like, I guess, like the channel creator for that.
Ryan is a child. No, Ryan is a child. Yes. So this is parents like recording their child, and their child does like all the little fun things that are scripted, and they perceive that as a friend.
Oh my God.
This is Elmo.
It's not just, wow. It's not just manipulating like the people watching, but also manipulating like the child participating.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, the child doesn't know, but the child is absolutely being taught to like say these sponsorships. So like, this video is sponsored by XYZ. And so what we actually found was that kids were developing they were developing an understanding of sponsorships. So they knew why Ryan was promoting these items, and that buying those items would help promote Ryan.
Yeah.
And they were like, this helps Ryan. This supports Ryan financially. Ryan needs that money. But do you remember as a kid, like ever understanding that like when we watch the Berenstain Bears and we see an ad that pays the Berenstain Bears? Like, no, that wasn't a thing.
Oh, yeah. I never understood that concept until I was like older, when I was like, oh, like why is there so many ads in between like my SpongeBob,
Yeah. So what that actually is the fact that TV is regulated and YouTube is not.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Whoa. Oh my God.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I want to turn this question like back on you then. Like, how old were you when you started using YouTube?
Oh. Oh no. I was 10.
10? I think I was around that
Yes.
age too, like 11.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, what were you watching? Because I think for me, like, I started watching YouTubers at like 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, what
But
about?
there's also a huge difference though between because I could say even younger if I said like with parental guidance. So that was like very limited access to YouTube because they would show me like a clip from like a TV show.
Yeah.
So that's very different.
Yeah.
Independent use was at the age of 10. And that's at the big boom of Minecraft and Minecraft YouTubers.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that was also like, that was also of an era of like people like forming parasocial relationships with like the Minecraft
Yes.
YouTubers. I remember like even now, like with Dream, George Not Found, like there is a lot of parasocial stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna incriminate myself for a hot minute. I actually like had a little bit of like a crush on one of them that I watched, which was very interesting that later on I found out like this was a huge like scandal and stuff. He was abusive towards his wife.
Oh, are we gonna name drop or we're not gonna do that here?
No, I'm not gonna name drop because everybody who knows it's very specific.
Okay.
And I'd rather not give press to someone who does
true.
that, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So point being was that like
Let me know after though.
Yeah. Will do. It was this like it was kind of this opening that I couldn't have possibly known because I'm like I hit 20 and then I learned that this guy was abusive. So I was like, "Oh." And like literally that was post so I hit 20. I had been through my first relationship which was also abusive in nearly the same kind of manner. And then I found out that like, oh, this character essentially that this guy was putting up online, I had a huge crush on that. And then it really reflected later in ways that I couldn't have known. Yeah. So if you can imagine like parasocial relationships are kind of like this warning sign of you're not registering real relationships correctly, or you're not registering what a safe or healthy relationship is, or there's something there and you just don't know it yet. Yeah.
I wanted to add something, but like I forgot all of a sudden. But I will say like when I was growing up, for me, I heavily like there was this one YouTuber. I don't know if I should name drop them.
Don't name drop.
yeah, I'll try not to name drop. But they are a couple. They were a couple on YouTube, and they posted. It's gonna be so obvious once I say it, but they posted like daily vlogs on their YouTube channel, right? And I would watch that as like a 12-year-old kid because like they kind of modeled what a healthy relationship looked like. They were doing fun things together. Playing with their pets on camera, pulling pranks on each other. That's gonna be so obvious. Oh my God. And then, by the time I turned like, I don't know, 15, I don't know how old was it, but like they broke up, right? And then I was like so shocked along with everyone else, like the fans watching, because we were all in the same mindset that I just described, like perceived it as like a healthy relationship, but in the end, like there was something like underneath the blanket, right? Like, and then we just didn't know because, like you said, like these YouTubers put like a character, put on a mask when they're on YouTube, right? And they only want to show like the best version of themselves online. And like, it kind of like reflected on like my own life as well, where I'm just like, I don't have like the best parents either. Like they didn't necessarily like model a healthy relationship per se, and like that definitely led me to like my parents and the situation where I was idolizing a YouTuber, like made me kind of reflect on my own like perception of love. And I'm just like, wait, like maybe love is like not all happiness. Like it's not like there, even if it seems like it's a loving relationship, like there's so much that could be going on behind the scenes. And like it took me a while to process all that and be like, wow, this is real life for real.
Did you get the rose-colored glasses where you're like, love just has to be the everything?
Yeah, I know. I really did.
Yeah.
I really did. Even now, I still believe like, oh, like I believe in love at first sight, or like the first person I date will be like the person I marry, kind of thing. Which is so not like true, but it's kind of the model I want in my life, just because I've dealt with so much like trauma with my parents that like I want something happier for myself in the future. So like I don't know, like you could blame that as like trauma, but also it is kind of like emotional immaturity, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like I'm not fully processing it still in my head. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Right. Okay, so there is maturity, right? Which is essentially like, I'm old enough to know about these things. But then there's emotional maturity, which sometimes will take different amounts for different people. So like if you're emotionally mature, that might even be a sign of trauma. So like you can be traumatized and forced to take on a more mature role. So like people who had parents that were like kind of absent are far more emotionally mature than people who had like a correct way of being raised.
Oh, okay. I think, I guess I kind of see that because I really had to develop my mind faster than most kids my age. Uh, when I was like 12, my family was like going through a lot of shit, and it felt like I had to understand what the adults were feeling so that I can help out, right?
Right.
But like, I think that's not right for a kid to do, or like
Yeah.
not appropriate for a kid at like 12 years old to already understand like stuff like divorce, fighting, abusive relationships, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's going on here?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, to put it very simply, like it's not emotional maturity is a very tricky thing because you can get emotional maturity, yeah, but if it's ill-developed, then you have a lot to break down in order to correct the way in which you perceive the world. So you could be forced into being more emotionally mature at an earlier age because your parents put you through some like crazy things. Like my mom, I think she's a very good advocate for being forced to be more emotionally mature. And then like I kind of sat there with her like about my childhood the other day, and I was like, didn't you think that maybe I was having a tantrum about this because it was something completely outside of the moment? And she's like, no, why would I think that? And I'm like, paradigms, like everybody has their own unique experience, which can cause them to react in a different way.
Yeah.
But because she had to basically grow up really quick, she missed that aspect of everyone's going to freak out in a different way about different things, and you're not going to understand, and that's okay, because she was busy trying to figure out, how am I going to survive? How am I going to support a family? How am I going to pay taxes? Like all of that was just thrust upon her, so she couldn't even sit there and put that into perspective.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was deep. Ooh.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about like your relationship with your parents? Do you feel like you have that emotional maturity? Like, do you think you grew up in like a good way? I don't know. Like, this could be a personal question. You don't have to answer if it's too much.
I had a really good childhood, but I know something mentally is fucked up. I know it. I know it in my jellies. I don't know what it is, but I know it's there. And I don't know what it is yet. So we're going to find it.
We're going to find it. Hopefully through this podcast. Or I don't know, maybe it's too soon for you.
It could be way too soon. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen some like distasteful things from my parents. I've had some distasteful experiences from my cousins. I've had some distasteful behaviors modeled by my elders. Like, there's a lot that builds into it, and I react in a different way. And I don't know if that is because I've been raised with a a messed up perception of the world and I accepted that that was the reality, or if I just grew up and learned a different way to do things in order to cope.
I want to like list some examples of symptoms, I guess, of emotional immaturity.
Yeah.
So some common things are like emotional outburst, blaming others for their mishaps, defensive and manipulative, being defensive and manipulative to intimidate people, deflecting important conversations that involve self-reflection, strong need for presence of others, and yeah, like just listing those. Do you see some of those attributes in your own life?
I mean, I feel like everybody does to some kind of extent, right?
But if it's like a reoccurring thing, then like that would be a big problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of like you're just not there yet. I have definitely deflected. Like in the throes of depression, like it was like, we need to talk about this, and I was like, you need to buck up. Like I was not ready. I wasn't ready to have those conversations because I wasn't ready to face myself. But that's just sometimes it happens, you know?
Yeah. What age did you come to realize you had to like do a lot of self-reflection in order to grow up?
Ooh. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Because like I joined this thing called like Link Crew when I was in
Link Crew?
Yeah, when I was in like grade 10? No, grade 11. So basically like it was this program where you kind of had to like face yourself for a hot minute because they were like, you're gonna do orientation for all of these 14-year-olds who are gonna come in. And they're gonna judge you and rip you apart if you don't have your act together.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So a lot of the training was like, you need to learn about yourself and you need to be comfortable with yourself. And so through that, I kind of just like realized that there's a bunch of little things that people do because they have an emotional reaction. And I was like, okay, I have an emotional reaction and I need to embrace that rather than reject it.
What were some of those what were some of those emotions that you had to embrace?
I may or may not have like borderline PTSD. So
Okay.
That's such a big bag to drop. I'm sorry.
Continue. No, I was hoping for like a big answer at some point,
my God.
right? Okay, give us the tea. Okay.
So I had like this time where, you know, big depression, right? And I was doing math homework, but like I really struggle with homework because I actually had a lot of like misdiagnosed tendencies. So basically what I was doing like one night was I was doing math and my mom was like, why can't you do your homework? Blah, 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 blah. And it got into this big thing. I tried to run away. And
oh my.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so dramatic.
That's so cute though. Well, how old were you at this time?
No, I was like 14.
14? Okay.
Yeah. She was trying to drag a whole ass near adult size human into the house. It was crazy. Yeah. So I was doing math and then we got into that huge spat. So now every time I went to math class, I literally was having like PTSD episodes. So I was reliving that fight in my head during math class. It was such a big distraction. And all I could do was sit there and just be like, I need to stop. This needs to stop. I'm freaking out. So like, that's not normal.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. So that at least faded for a while. But then I started to realize that like a lot of my mannerisms of getting mad and getting angry and, you know, stomping my foot and doing these big gestures and hurting people, it was because I was taught at a very young age that I'm not allowed to cry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So neurodivergency meant that I got kind of teased and bullied a lot. And I didn't know why. And they didn't know why. They just thought I was weird. So what happened was when I would cry, they'd call me a crybaby. What are you crying for? It's not that bad. We just said blah, blah, blah.
Like by your parents or like just
just friends
everyone around
and like
friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was like the school experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So bullying traumatized you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a lot of invalidation. Because I'm also mouthy, my teachers would not listen to me. So if I had a problem and I brought it up, they'd be like, no, it's not. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay.
So quickly learning to be independent because of the school system caused this like jut in emotional maturity, but it wasn't. Right. So I was forced to act more mature, but I wasn't there yet. And so I would just push down the crying, push down the emotions, push. And then I hit depression and we couldn't hide anymore.
Okay.
I was in math class. I was having an episode and I was pushing down my emotions. You can imagine just how unhealthy that is, right?
Yeah. Did you like cause a scene in that math class?
No.
Or like you were just like waiting for like the class to be over so you could like rush to the washroom and just like breathe or something?
It doesn't hit like that. It doesn't hit like that, actually. Like it's for me, like I can literally have a very quiet episode where I'm just sat there like reliving it over and over and over. And what you're supposed to do is anchoring. So it basically means that you are bracing for impact and just living through it. And if that means you got to cry, then you got to cry. But I have so much repressed emotion that that's what I just naturally do now. So it wasn't even like a situation where it's like, I'm going to go to the washroom and then I'm going to cry in private in secret and blah, 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 blah. No, it was like, I'm going to repress this and then hopefully someday I will die. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how toxic we're being to kids that cry, little crybabies.
God. I think, I have like a very like different coping mechanism compared to you.
Okay.
I think it's like, for me, it's like, I will wait until the end of the day and I will like just replay that moment over and over in my bed, like at night, and I'll just like cry, like I'll bawl my eyes out, and then the next day I'm just like, hey, what's up, guys?
Oh no.
Yeah. For me, it's like I keep all my emotions to myself, and like I just literally never tell anyone. I just like just keep it into me, or like I'll write it down in a journal, and like that's that. But then I think it was this year and like a little bit of last year that I realized, like, you know, in order for people to like help you and understand you, you have to like communicate how you're feeling to others. And like that concept did not sit well with me until like last year. Even like now, like it's still not a thing for me, but I'm like trying my best now.
Yeah. So for me, learning to cry in public kind of told me to reset what I had learned, right? So this is that emotional maturity and like false emotional maturity leading you down a straight path.
Yeah.
So this false emotional maturity said, you're not going to get help. And if you cry, it makes it worse, right? So I had to unlearn that because what adults do is adults don't cry. So I was creating a fake emotional maturity. And then I had to unlearn that in order to basically get more introspective and to learn more about myself. And now I weep openly.
I love that for you. I think, same. It's like, even as I guess I'm like not a straight man, right? But like I am still like a man, right? Like growing up in our society where it's like media kind of tells men not to cry, tells us not to like, we can't show our emotions in public and like save it for when we're alone, or like share with our close partners and stuff like that, right? Or even just like bear the brunt alone. And like I kind of like swallowed that up too, kind of like how you like took in from your bullies, like you can't cry. Like I kind of took that in as well, like where I can't show my emotions publicly. And I guess that's where I stem from. I can't tell anyone about my problems because I just need to deal with it alone. But we're both unlearning here, I guess, and like we're both learning. That's really good to hear that. We both got like some sort of like hypnotized into thinking something else, but in reality, like we just can be normal. We can express ourselves however we want, or however like we need to in the moment, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. I found out that basically like the more sensitive and like just outwardly, and I know that this doesn't work for anyone who is mask presenting, and that's because of the toxic infrastructure that we've put into society. Yeah. So it doesn't work for them. But if you are particularly sensitive and just kind of open, if people don't see you as a suitor, they will be particularly nice.
A
Yeah.
suitor?
But if
Like-
so if they see you as a suitor, and you're femme presenting and you're really sensitive and open about your emotions, they will create the rose-colored glasses about you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like they'll
and then
see
they
you
start
as
thinking,
like a good person? Or like
so they see you as whatever they want to see you, because you basically become oh gosh, I don't want to I'm gonna reference something.
Okay, go ahead.
They see you as like tofu, odorless, colorless, and textureless.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Blue-Eyed Samurai right there. Love that show. Anyway.
I kind
they
of like
see
that
you-
though.
Yeah, they see you as like easy to mold. They just kind of take their narrative of what they think you are. And because you're busy putting yourself out there as like a very open vessel, like you're an open book, there is nothing more to you than what you present. They start building this narrative of what you are behind the scenes, because people always want to hear about the behind the scenes.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That is kind of with like I know you mentioned like you're not really into K-pop and everything, but like that is how it is for K-pop idols as well. Just like shaping their favorite, like the fans are shaping their favorite idols as like whatever they want to see them as,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
And-
man.
Yeah.
Sorry. To
No, go
find
ahead,
out
go
that
ahead.
like there was K-pop fanfic, I was like, no way. What? Y'all
Fans will
can do
ship
that? Like, these are
anything.
real people.
Yeah, no, fans will ship anything. Like I literally talked about in my last episode, that like fans are crazy. Like when they have their heart set out, like desire for something, they will like go and do it. You know, it's even
Right.
crazier when like, I don't know what's crazier, shipping the idols with themselves or shipping the idols with other idols.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because
don't know.
there's a level of like making it fit the narrative because you just want to have a cute date with your favorite K-pop idol. Like
Yeah.
there's that. And then there's shipping them together where it's part of me believes that it's like claiming that you know these people more than they know themselves. And it's like
What does that say about like the person shipping them though?
I don't know. Now, disclaimer, I also write fanfic, right? I wrote like I wrote a fanfic for like Danganronpa because I was like, non-romantic, I have to really specify, but basically I wrote it for that because I was like, they did all of these things and they have all of these untouched little details and I want to put those to good use and I could write it better. And like, could I? No, but I'm like egotistical and delusional.
But I think that's different. Like if you're writing fanfic about something that's already fictional, then it's okay, in my opinion, right?
Mhm.
Like shipping characters that are not existent, like that just exist within the world of the creator that writes it, right? Then it's like, okay, that's fine because you're not technically harming anyone involved in that. It's also like, I described it like, I don't think it's parasocial per se if you're shipping fictional characters. I don't know how you might disagree with me on that, right? But but like I think it's more like you're fantasizing of like something for your own life. But I don't think that's parasocial because it's not like those people that you're shipping, the 2D characters that you're shipping knows you, right? Like it's literally just a one-way thing. So like, how do you feel about that?
So
I don't know.
let me add, because I don't think you've thought of this perspective yet.
Okay.
Which is just what's the difference between a fictional character and a persona put up by an idol?
I think it's because a persona set up by an idol, it's like there's a real person that like they're modeling, I guess.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
like they're playing as a character, but they're at the same time a real person at the same time. Whereas like
Right.
a fictional character that it's written by someone who is real, but that character is not like the person that's writing is not personifying as the character that they're like writing. Does that make sense?
So
I don't know.
you're on the right track. Basically, what the difference is that those are attached to actual people and using their actual names. right? So it is the equivalent of if I started talking about you in the third person and started making you do things that you would never do. It's almost insulting, right? Because it's awkward. It's like, well, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's involving you in a thing that you didn't necessarily consent to.
Yeah.
But fictional characters are not, they don't belong to a particular person until we start considering that voice actors can probably feel very uncomfortable if their anime character is being depicted in a certain way, and then they start shipping the voice actor. They're like, yes, let's start taking the voice actor's voice because they're both the same voice actors of this ship that I like. But it's not the same. So anyway, point being is that the only difference is that there's someone to feel awkward, because it's more connected to them than a character.
Yeah. That's so interesting. Oh, I never thought about fans shipping the voice actors. That's so
Yeah, they do it.
Oh my god. I don't know, like that's kind of embarrassing. No offense if you do, or no offense if anyone listening does, but it's kind of embarrassing.
Well, to put it very blatantly, like, yes, some of them are in fact like married, like they're already couples, so it's fine. Like, I think, what was it? The voice of Fred and Daphne, I'm pretty sure they were like actually a thing. So it made sense. Right?
I know some like animes, like some are actually married in real life as well. But the chances of that is like kind of low.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of more often than you think. But you really have to like, it's squint and you'll find it.
Yeah.
So the difference when we're talking about idols is that idols are using their own face, right? So like, it wouldn't be a problem if I wrote a fanfic about Iron Man, because Iron Man has a cartoon persona, right?
Yes.
It came from the comic books. It came from the blah, blah, blah. It's not the Tony Stark that everybody thinks of.
Yes.
But like, when we don't have that extra attachment, it starts to become more personal. But at the end of the day, a lot of people on, say, reality TV shows actually don't feel that they are represented in their character in those shows. And they are actually portraying a character and not themselves in reality TV shows. Where was I going with this?
I was going to say, you were going to say something about, because I first initially said that I don't feel like it's a parasocial relationship if it's you and a 2D character. Yeah.
Yes.
Does that help you?
So, So the point is that we're perceiving all of them as characters. That's the actual problem, is that it's not about we just have a character and we're attaching it to a face. It's that we perceive all of it as characters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Never thought of it like that.
Which is why there's also, what was it, boyfriends getting like jealous because their girlfriend is interested in Gojo or something like that.
I mean, like,
did you hear about
if it's
that?
Gojo, then sure.
Oh my god.
I mean, Gojo kind of,
I know. Yeah. So there's a lot of that. Like, we're not separating people from character, and that's kind of a problem.
Is it wrong though to like a character?
No, not at all.
No, right?
Like, okay, so there's liking a character, and then there's obsessing about a character. Right. So the moment that your fictional world starts impacting your physical world. So do you know people who like get standees and like a large amount of those like cardboard cutouts?
I don't know anyone personally, but
no, you
I've
wouldn't.
probably seen it on like TikTok or like Reddit or something of like someone just has like an entire like shrine dedicated to this one character. That's like alarmingly concerning. Yeah. So there is, I think, oh gosh, I hate referencing the Danganronpa fandom, but there's such a good little petri dish. Go ahead.
There was the Sayaka Maizumi house or whatever that is, where this guy had this character, Sayaka, like all over his house. Like he literally turned his house into a temple to worship this anime character. And the problem with that is that's
something
his
I would do,
house. but that's this person's house.
Yeah, yeah. Even on the outside, or just like,
Yeah, outside and in.
oh
It
my
was
God.
nuts.
Oh
It was
my
nuts.
God.
Yeah.
So okay, that's like a different kind of obsession.
Right. So this
'Cause-
is when that parasocial relationship is actually a problem.
yeah, yeah. I wasn't even like thinking to like that extreme. I was thinking just like, oh, like I think Gojo is hot and sexy, period. But like
He's a fictional character.
he's a fictional character, right? But like I wouldn't say like, oh, this idol is hot and sexy. Like it's different if you say it like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, now we can all appreciate like an actor and we can think an actor looks good and they act good and all that stuff, right?
Mhm,
But there's a difference between telling yourself, I'm going to marry this actor and I can appreciate this actor really
Yeah.
like a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Which is that's what most of these hype super stans are saying like on Twitter. It's like, oh, like I will let this idol do it with me kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of comment, like it's less hurtful or less what I guess, yeah. I don't know how else to say it. Like less hurtful if you set it to a 2D character versus an idol that has like a physical body attached to that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But you were saying about the what was the name? Sayaka from Danganronpa?
Oh, yeah.
That shrine thing.
Yeah.
I think that is like, okay. Therapy needs to be sought in that case.
But there's another thing is that like, is it that therapy needs to be sought out or is it that this person is finding their niche? Like, where are you getting all of this money to get all of these cardboard cutouts? Clearly, you're a functioning person in society and not a complete mess.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem really does stem from the fact that like what it is it's an emotional impact on your social capabilities. And that's going to vary based on what you do. We can't just slap a label on this is a problem and this isn't because it's not that simple.
I think that's a good point you made about like, yeah, they probably do have the money to like buy all that stuff. Like even you even said like he has a house to do that in the first place, right? So like, yeah, while he is like an active member of the working society, like doesn't mean he's like an active member of like a communal society, right?
Yes.
It's like he's not like demonstrating, like let's say like this guy like has a girlfriend and kids, right? Then like obviously that will be alarming, right? Because you're devoting every square inch of your house to Sayaka versus like taking care of your wife and kid now, right? So
although hot opinion, like, or what's it? What are they called? They're like
hot take.
Hot take, that's it. Sorry, I haven't used that in forever.
It's okay. I'm a boomer.
Hot take is that, like, in part, it would be kind of the responsibility of whoever you're, married to for endorsing that, for sticking around with that, right?
Oh, true.
Yeah. True. So, like, if you're truly not okay with having this, like, overrunness, you need to bring up that problem. And then if it's really that bad of a problem, you need to leave. Like, I get it when there's kids involved, like it starts getting like really confusing. But in part, we also need to be responsible human beings and know how much our own sanity can take. And if you're unwilling to find a compromise in a relationship, either side, then that relationship isn't a relationship anymore.
Yeah. Can you imagine if like they both were like that? Like two people somehow got together and they both love like Gojo Satoru at the same time. And then like they create their entire shrine for Gojo. But like they're like a happy married couple because of that. Like just imagine like how the kid would like feel like growing up. It's like, Mom, why is this white hair dude all over the house? I'm just like, it's my culture.
Right, but like then we're also running into like that developmental stage for children and having to like deconstruct what you perceive as normal in the future, right? That kid would at worst have to go to a friend's house and then realize that they are very abnormal for having like a bunch of Gojos around the house.
It's like, he goes to his friend's house, like, what do you mean Gojo Satoru's not in your room? What do you
But
mean
what
you don't
is
have a shrine
worse?
for some anime character in your entire house?
But what is worse is a child growing up with their parents constantly bickering and fighting, and you can't have Goro, and I feel whatever about Goro and Gojo. Gojo. My bad. I feel however about Gojo, and how dare you, and they start having these like screaming matches. That's gonna harm a child.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what really gets them, probably. Yeah. We talked about like abuse now at this point. We've talked about like neglect. We've kind of like haven't touched too much about like, I guess, like self-esteem actually, because when I was doing research about emotional immaturity, like self-esteem plays an important like role into how kids turn up as adults, right? One of the studies that I looked into shows that acceptance involvement and anonymity granting correlated to positive self-esteem, like
Yeah.
parents giving them anonymity. And also parents also need to show like they love their kid and show that they care for their kid and stuff like that. And that also plays into the part of like them having like, I guess, a better outcome in the future. How would you say like self-esteem is for you? Like, do you have low self-esteem? Do you have high self-esteem? Do you have like normal self-esteem? Like, what do you think?
It's tough because I feel like you'll never know when somebody actually has low self-esteem because they work so hard to like gas themselves up in public. And it's partially why I am a snippy, annoying individual, is because I actually have a very low self-esteem. Yeah.
Okay.
When I am having emotional fits, guess who's the number one person I attack as the problem? Myself.
Yourself? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like you were going to latch out as someone else, because I think that's what a lot of people with like low self-esteem actually do, is like they find someone who like because they don't like to blame it on themselves. Actually, even for like someone with low self-esteem, they would like rather deflect it and like try to deny that it's their fault. Right?
Right. But to be honest, if you are someone with high self-esteem and you're happy with the way that you're working, this isn't a every time, you have to go on case by case basis, but you can get somebody with high self-esteem to actually blame everyone around them because they don't think that they need the fixing.
Oh.
Yeah. You can also get someone with low self-esteem to basically blame everyone else because they just, all of my misfortune and it's because of the people around me or whatever it is. And they may have a low self-esteem because they just can't pick themselves up off the ground and it looks embarrassing.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it really does depend, right?
Yeah.
I am a low self-esteem individual, which means that when I have a really bad day and I can't compress everything into a jar to, meet everyone with kindness, I'm the person that I attack. Why do you have to be so weird? Why do you have to lash out like that? Look at you right now. You look so pathetic because you're so upset about this minute little detail. And I rag on myself. That is what it is.
Do you do you know where that low self-esteem stems from?
Bullying.
Oh.
It's bullying every time.
Every time bullying. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
it's the parents not listening, it's the adults not listening, and then being like, you're so dramatic, and then it comes back.
No, but that's like exactly like the part of like how self-esteem plays a role in emotional immaturity, because a perfectly normal growing adult should have like a good level of self-esteem to realize like what's wrong, what's right, and also not to like, I guess, blame others. Because if you have like good self-esteem, like it'll help you perform better in your day-to-day task, but also like have healthier relationships with people. I think for me, I would say I have like low self-esteem as well. Probably from like my parental trauma and like growing up and childhood trauma. Because they would always like pick on me, like nitpick every single detail that I'm doing wrong kind of deal. And also like I kind of like got like third hand because I have a sister, right? And like they would also like nag on her for like a lot of things that like she does wrong. And I think like because of like that back and forth all the time, it made me like a really critical person now. Whereas like if I notice something I'm doing wrong, even like if someone else is doing something wrong, I would like nitpick it and try to like I have like a backseating mentality now because of that. So
Right.
that's not fun. That like definitely I've noticed that mentality like has I guess resulted me and be a more negative person, and I don't like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you found that you're like unable to trust your gut? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, it's like I want to listen to my gut, but then it's like my gut is having doubts, my mind is having doubts, and I can never like,
Mhm.
whenever I have an idea, I can't just like set out and do it. Like I have to like sit on it and like overthink about it for like a week, and then by
Right.
that time I'm just like already forgot about it, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that something that I really had to unlearn after like a bit of abuse happened was
Mhm.
trusting my gut. And that was a huge thing that I had to focus on, was if you perceive a situation as dangerous, like you may take yourself like mentally and you may be like, but there's nothing cognitively wrong here. So my gut is stupid and I'm going to ignore it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Fuck your gut. we just go with the flow.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of like problems with when you can't trust your gut, and I think that does kind of come from the low self-esteem level. Is that you're hearing your gut like screaming like, oh my god, like this is dangerous, you shouldn't do this, and you're like, what's so dangerous about it?
Yeah.
And then you just reject that.
That's me with gambling. Oop. I'm just like,
Not the
yeah,
gambling problem.
Yeah, my gut's telling me, oh, stop. You can't keep pulling for new characters every time. But it's like, I'll just win with one pull kind of deal. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably like a whole different thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But another thing is like, how do you feel about relationships? Like,
Ooh.
not just like, I think we'll focus on like romantic relationships for this. Like, what do you seek from like a partner?
Are we thinking about romantic relationships, or are we just talking about relationships in general?
Romantic relationships. Like,
Okay.
what do you want?
So we're
like
isolating.
your future, like yeah, like what do you want like your future partner to like? I guess, like what I'm trying to say is like, what are your expectations? Yeah,
Yeah.
I should say like given like how we were raised, what we just talked about, emotional immaturity, like yeah, how do you feel?
I mean, I would always just kind of I feel like I did a lot of reflection on this, and I still don't have a proper, solid, concrete answer.
Ooh,
and that's because I'm still deconstructing a lot. And every time I pursue something, I actually have like a gut reaction where I freak out. So we're learning. But
are you afraid of like commitment right now because of like your last relationship? You said it traumatized you.
Yeah, but that wasn't even like commitment. It's like I'm scared of like somebody changing the label and then expecting things to change dramatically in like the span of an hour.
What do you mean changing the label?
So I can be friends with someone, right?
Yeah.
And then say, now I'm like, you know what? We really hit it off. Like maybe let's call this a relationship. Now they're expecting like romantic gratification. They're calling every time we hang out a date. And it's like, that's not it for me.
Okay. Are you sure it's not like commitment problem then? Because
I don't know.
I feel
it
like what you just described is like being afraid to commit to something serious. Like,
because I don't. This is, I think, where sexuality and like labels can get really mixed up. Because I'm also a little bit asexual, so there's not much of a difference. to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it
'Cause-
kind of essentially means that like I'm not going to turn you away and be like, oh, that's a you problem. I'm going to be like, no, we're going to work on this together. But then people are like, oh, but why don't you look at me sexually, or like why don't you think I'm hot or whatever? Because I'm like, that didn't change. Your physicality didn't change.
Yeah. I think I see what you mean. You mean. Like you don't
It's
want,
really tough to explain though.
Yeah, like you don't want to get into a relationship as like friends at first, and then once you guys are like quote unquote like not friends because you guys are in a relationship now, like things will change, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I think even now, like I feel like the friends that I have right now, it's like so cool. But as soon as like you have you make things official, it's like suddenly you're expected more from the relationship. Like you're expected to call each other, text each other, and also like hang out a lot more and like go on dates. But I don't think it has to like be like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I was gonna say like my expectations are high for romantic relationships because I got a lot of baggage on me and like I need someone who can like deal with every single second of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but also I don't know if you've watched Banana Fish. Maybe you have.
Not yet.
No,
I need
it's okay.
to.
It is the gays. It is one of the gays TV show of anime of all time, and I highly recommend. Yes, but pretty much like from that anime, it taught me how, you don't necessarily have to be with someone 24/7. It's more like your soul has to be with them 24/7. You know, and
Right.
I find that like really touching because that's kind of what I want. It's like I don't need reassurance 24/7. I don't need someone texting me every minute, every hour of the day being like, what you doing, like where are you right now, kind of thing. Like I just want someone who is there with me in spirit, and like I could feel it by the way like their actions and their words like touch me. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would put that as like, you don't need a hero. You don't need someone to save you. You need someone to sit there and figure it out with you.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. Oh my god.
Yes.
And like all that emotional trauma and stuff like that made me think like I didn't really have someone who like loved me. It like growing up, I never perceived love, like not from someone else that like I had a crush on, not someone who like loved me, or like even like my parents. Like I never felt like I was ever loved. Like I was like I wanted my existence here to be like appreciated by someone, and like I just haven't gotten that yet. And I think that's like what I'm mainly seeking for in a relationship now, just someone to like actually like give a shit. Yeah,
that's totally valid. Like to want individuality together, though. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds 10 out of 10.
Yeah. No, that's
So,
such
like,
a healthy relationship to like look for too, because there's a lot of people who try and look for a relationship where they can just be like codependent, and codependency can work, but it is essentially toxic and it's not a permanent solution.
Like doing things together all the time and stuff like that.
Ooh, like, how do I put it? Like trying to find someone who hits your social oppositeness so that you create a whole person together. Like you need to be whole people individually before you can become together, not a whole person together.
That's codependency.
Yeah, there's codependency where basically like you will, I may be using the wrong word, so like don't quote me.
Oh,
but there's a kind of relationship type where it's like, how do I put it? One of you can't order like your food at a restaurant or something. So the other one will do like all the ordering and they'll make decisions for you, right? And then the other one is like, oh, but I don't like making dinner plans, so they have to choose where to do dinner. And there's a fine line between like yes, I prefer it that way. And so we're doing like an agreement that each of us takes up a thing that we would prefer to do over what the other one would prefer not to, versus I don't like it and I can't function without them. They have to order for me every time because I cannot do it on my own.
Oh.
So you have to be a full functioning person.
I see what you mean. Yeah. It's like if one person won't want to do this one, the other person has to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh
so
my God.
living your life like that is like, it's toxic. It doesn't
that
last.
does sound very toxic. Yeah. It's like, because then like, what if you both want to do it? Or like, what if you both don't want to do it? Right?
Yeah.
And I could see that running into problems. Oh my God. Yeah. But like you said earlier, for me, like I definitely want to be, or like even I'm trying to be a more independent person before I get into a relationship. Because
Absolutely.
I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah. You go. Like,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Oh my God. And I mean, what about you? Like, are you open for the market? Are you on the market?
I still,
like, are you looking for someone?
I still freak out.
Okay.
I feel like if I were open on the market, I wouldn't freak out and like immediately reject any kind of advance with like violent, scared reactions.
Okay.
I'm still traumatized, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking about relationships just because I think it still stems back to like the emotional immaturity of
Oh, absolutely.
like needing someone to confide in or like needing someone to be with. Because I know some people who like won't function without a boyfriend, girlfriend. Like they need to be in a relationship, right? And I'm just like, how serious do you have to like had childhood trauma to the point where like you need to like pretty much be dependent on someone all the time, right?
Yeah. Like there's some
Do you know
people
anyone?
who are oh no, it's my cousin.
Oh,
Let's just hope she never sees this. But
Okay.
we heavily speculate that basically like the reason why she's jumping into relationships, and she is heavily jumping into relationships, and it's basically to run away from her family situation where a lot of responsibility has been dumped on her.
Like financial stuff and also like
Oh God.
taking care of
Like
stuff.
you-
I don't know.
So, like it's financial now.
Okay. We don't have to
like
get
for
into
a
it
long
if it's too
time,
personal, by the way.
just for a long time, she had to take up a lot of like parental roles. So like if her younger sister wasn't doing something, she had to make sure that her younger sister was being responsible and doing the thing. So yeah, it's just a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of like older sibling energy, right?
Yes, you got it right on the head.
yeah, and it's oh my God, it's probably like their parents gave the older siblings so much pressure to the point where like they felt like they had to be like the parents of the house.
Yes,
and now maybe that's why they want to feel like they need to be in a relationship all the time because now they want to be babied by someone else. They want to feel like a kid again.
Yeah, it's not even like that. It's just like the running away from, well, I mean, it's all speculation, obviously. I'm not in their head. But it's like the idea of like, I don't want to be the mother of the household anymore. So like, I'm going to go find someone where at least I won't have to be the mother of 3 different people. I can just be the mother of one if I'm lucky.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's kind of crazy. Okay. How you feeling, by the way? Like we're reaching like an hour, 20-ish minutes into the podcast right now. Like, how do you feel?
I
okay.
hope we're not going over time.
I love yapping. No, don't worry about time. I mean, it's just more like we're seeing how it is. But like we are reaching the end now. But before we like totally end off, I just want to ask you like a question to like end off everything that we talked about, right? So the question is, are emotionally immature individuals like myself, like you maybe, I guess, hopeless? Like, are we hopeless? Like once our childhood trauma like affects them so much to the point like we can't clearly think for ourselves, like, do you think it's over for us? I don't know. Do you think there's saving to be done?
Seek therapy.
Seek therapy, y'all.
Go to therapy. Oh my God. No, not everyone can afford therapy, but like a lot of introspection and like bouncing it off of other people. Find another person that you can safely bounce off these ideas. Don't just crazy delulu sit in your head, because that's a problem.
But I like crazy sitting delulu in my head. It's funny.
Yes, but
It's
your
fun
1 a.m.
creating
sessions.
toxic environments for myself.
But your 1 a.m. sessions of like, I'll just put soda into this ramen and everything will be okay are not healthy habits. Like,
but it's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, there's introspection that needs to be done, but it needs to be bounced off of other people, because alone we think, what a great idea. Ramen and Mountain Dew or something like that. Like, what a great idea, those two things together.
Yep,
and then you end up hurting yourself. So bounce it off of people.
Yeah, you're saying find healthy relationships and talk it out.
Yeah.
You're just trying to say.
Find someone to be real with you. Like in Japan, they literally pay someone to be the quote unquote American in an office space so that somebody will tell them if everybody else is just gaslighting them and being like a bunch of yes men.
Oh my God.
That's so real though.
That is so real, because
that's so real.
A lot of the times I would say like, my friends would say I'm like the least yes man of our group, because I would tell it like straight up, like, you're fucking delusional. I would tell them, right? But when I go to my friends it's really appreciated, yeah. But when I go to my friends for problems, like, okay, for one, not blaming on them, right? But like,
no, you're
one
good.
thing I do is like, I told you earlier, like, I'm not good with sharing my own problems, right? So for my friends, it's like, it's more like I need them to like get me started. Like, I won't share anything unless, like, I don't know, fuck it. I mean, I need to be like pissed drunk and like needing to like just trauma dump everything, right? But if I'm like sobered and like clear mind, like, you really have to like get through like 5 different walls that are like 10 inches thick just to like get me to like start talking about my trauma and how I feel about life and stuff like that. And one last thing, we are kind of what people would call weebs. And
wait.
And it's like we're very much in like
go on.
Oh my God, don't expose yourself. Come on, man. Oh my God. Yes, we're very much in this culture of like consuming these fictional characters and like kind of like idolizing them, and like because we see them as like perfect and like ideal, right? But would you say like it has helped you get through like tough times, or just helped you develop your mind more? I don't know how to word that.
So I know it has helped a lot of people like who do watch anime. They've been like, oh, here's like the big thing or whatever. Like here's the anime that helps me get through a lot of things. For me, it's always been children's shows, actually.
Okay, elaborate.
Yeah. Anime hasn't helped for Shaisa. And it's been like going back to children's shows like I watched Bluey in my 20s.
Bluey?
And it was
I never watched that one.
Yeah, Bluey. It's the little healer dogs. They're Australian. I love them.
I never watched it. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Maybe don't. I don't know if it's your genre, but like watching.
Maybe I'll check out like one episode or something.
Yeah, watching like a functional family just have like fun together in a constructive way where like nobody's beating down on each other. It's not toxic. It's not crazy nuanced. It's healing.
I wish I had that. Oh my God.
I
but
know,
like,
right?
isn't that like, see, like, that's what we were saying. Like, why are the way we're watching media, like, play like a role model on us in our lives, like set an example. I'm just like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the funny part is that like we're looking at anime, and yes, there are very complex characters, and those complex characters can help you understand relationships in your life. But sometimes just simplifying it and resetting what looks actually normal can really help.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
I remember like watching Spy Family and just like, wow, that was so
Yes.
like, a healthy relationship.
Yes. Spy Family's so healing for me. Oh my
I know,
god.
it really
but it's
is.
unrealistic though because
It's
we have
so
like a bunch of
unrealistic.
fantastical situations.
Yeah.
Money
Like,
out
what
the
the chances of that
wazoo.
actually happening is like so little. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta be careful that you don't hit escapism though.
I feel like I already reached that point.
Oh.
Especially with like I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned on this podcast yet, but like I am like a Honkai fan, as you are kind of growing to be. I don't know how you are with Honkai now.
Oh no. I'm Genshin through and through.
Genshin through and through. Maybe that's even worse. But just living in that world, it's like it's just like so much relief. I don't know. Do you feel the same with Genshin?
I don't I feel like I live very in the now. So I've learned to separate my universes. Fictional is fictional and it's over there, and here is here, and sometimes it sucks.
Yeah.
Both can suck, but
Both can suck. Yeah.
yeah, but I've learned to separate them. And I think that that's also really important, is to know that when you're playing a game, you can fantasize and think like, oh yeah, I would like it to be this way, but know that you need to work for what you have in this world. Yeah.
Preach. There you go. That's a great way to end it off.
I don't mean to like put down the hammer, but like
No, I think that was a good way to end it off. Yeah.
yeah.
Anything
Thank
else you
you.
wanted to talk about, or like you're good?
No, that's it.
That's it. Okay. Well, I guess that concludes the third episode of the Lulu Hour. Thank you so much, Nichole, for joining me this week. How are you feeling right now? Good.
Thank you for having
Meh.
me. It feels
Yeah,
amazing.
no problem. It was a great conversation. I feel like talking about this kind of stuff like makes me more nervous than usual.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. It's just because I don't know. It's more like a touchy subject, and also because like I guess we're a bit more emotionally vulnerable this episode, right? Because we're talking about childhood trauma. I talked about how my parents messed me up, and also your bullying situation, right? So it's like a lot of redigging the past and like reflecting. But I think that's exactly what you need in order to mature emotionally, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good episode, yeah. So yes, you're feeling good, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, perfect, slay. Yes, so the next episode will be out every other week. So in the meantime, please anticipate that. Make sure to follow my channel because I will be posting podcast recaps on Shorts. Maybe you'll see me on TikTok, LOL. If you ever actually see my TikToks on TikTok, like let me know. I want to see if the algorithm is gonna work.
I'll have to tell you.
Yeah. And also, by the time this podcast episode is out, like I think this is coming out like next week. My Vancouver vlog might be out by then as well. So you get to see that. Yes. Slay. Yes. My Vancouver trip from like early May. Oh my god, it's finally gonna come out. Okay. Yes. You're good? You're good to say bye? Hello?
Yeah.
Bye. Okay. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Okay, whatever. Bye-bye.